Welcome to this video, where we're going to explore one of the most powerful features of Docker Swarm, its ability to forward requests only to containers on the same host as the Swarm load balancer. If you're working with containerized applications, you know how important it is to efficiently manage traffic and ensure high availability. In this video, we'll dive into the details of how Docker Swarm achieves this and what benefits it brings to your deployment strategy. Whether you're a seasoned DevOps engineer or just starting out with container orchestration, this topic is crucial in understanding how to optimize your application's performance and scalability. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how Docker Swarm's load balancing works and how it can be leveraged to improve your application's responsiveness. So, let's start with the basics. In a typical Swarm cluster, you have multiple nodes that can host containers. Each node has its own IP address. And when a request comes in, the Swarm load balancer decides which container should handle it. Now, by default, Docker Swarm uses a round-robin algorithm to distribute incoming requests across all available containers, regardless of their location. However, this approach might not always be ideal. Imagine you have a containerized application that relies on low-latency communication between microservices. In such cases, having the request forwarded to a container on a different host can introduce unnecessary latency and impact performance. This is where Docker Swarm's feature to forward requests only to containers on the same host as the Swarm load balancer comes into play. By enabling this feature, you ensure that incoming requests are always handled by a container on the same node as the load balancer, thereby minimizing latency and optimizing communication between microservices. But how does it work well? When you enable this feature, Docker Swarm configures the load balancer to use a different algorithm for distributing requests. Instead of round-robin, it uses a strategy that prioritizes containers on the same host as the load balancer. Let's consider an example to make this clearer. Suppose you have a Swarm cluster with 3 nodes, Node A, Node B, and Node C. Each node has 2 containers, Container 1 and Container 2. When a request comes in, the load balancer on Node A needs to decide which container should handle it. Without this feature enabled, the load balancer might forward the request to Container 1 on Node B or Container 2 on Node C, based on the round-robin algorithm. However, with this feature enabled, the load balancer will prioritize containers on Node A itself and forward the request to either Container 1 or Container 2 on Node A. To summarize, Docker Swarm's ability to forward requests only to containers on the same host as the Swarm load balancer is a powerful feature that can help optimize your application's performance and scalability. Key points to remember are: this feature minimizes latency by ensuring requests are handled by containers on the same node as the load balancer. It uses a different algorithm for distributing requests, prioritizing containers on the same host as the load balancer. Enabling this feature can significantly improve communication between microservices in containerized applications. Docker Swarm's ability to forward requests only to containers on the same host as the Swarm load balancer is a valuable feature that can help you optimize your application's performance and scalability. By understanding how this feature works and leveraging it effectively, you can significantly improve the responsiveness of your containerized application. If you have any questions or would like to know more about Docker Swarm or container orchestration in general, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe to our channel for more informative content on DevOps and cloud computing.